Um, there's somebody put a post up, and a lot of people are putting this up recently. Comes from unresearched, and historically it's untrue. Doesn't make any sense, and it's about why God could never be called Jehovah, because there was an absence of the letter J and the sound J in both the Greek and the Hebrew. Didn't exist. The name Jesus, as we have it today, is a Latinization. So the Hebrew letter that corresponds with the letter J is the Yod. And the idea of the Yod is it's a man with upraised hands like so. I'd put them out more, but I can't put them out in the picture. So that's the Yod. In Hebrew, Yod represented the consonantal sound of, like yellow, for instance. So the tetragrammaton, Yahweh, was pronounced starting with what we call a Y, a Y, that sound. So we could have Yahweh, or we could have Yehovah, or Jehovah. Either way, those were the only ways that that name could have been pronounced. There was no mechanism back then for the J sound to be reproduced. And the Greek does not have the J sound either. The language refers on what we call the letter I. They call the letter iota. And it's a E, more of an E sound than an I sound. E as in meat. The letter gamma, combined with certain vowels, would g, g. But that's as close as you get to it. It was a Latin transition, probably medieval. Well, it was medieval. And the J appeared in the English to sort of gentrify the letter I, make it more gentrified. And it was used for the vowel I, just as the Y had been used in the past. And as I said, it was more medieval than modern, than historical Hebrew or Greek. The name Jesus, therefore, highlights exactly how Jehovah is an anomaly. How do I say that? Let me think about it for a minute. It's an anomaly. Jesus' real name, for instance, in the Hebrew would have been Yeshua or Yeshua. Or Yehoshua, which means Yahweh or salvation. When the name was transliterated into Greek, the Y Yod became I, Isus. In modern English, like the 1611 King James Bible, it's still written as Isus. The J only appeared in the English editions around 1630s. The Jehovah problem, if you follow the same rules that turned Yeshua to Jesus, the name Yahweh or Yehovah should have evolved into something like Yahweh or Yehovah. However, the specific J in Jehovah is a result of the later Germanic Latin, the influence of the I. And so it goes on. And I could be here for hours talking to you about the history of it, but it boils down to this. There was no J back in the time of Jesus, or in the Hebrew, or in the Greek. So unless you're a time traveller and you want to go back there, or you're being anachronistic, or you're doing what most people do today, making your own history up, you can't do that. So don't fall for the Jehovah trick. God was never called Jehovah, will never be called Jehovah. That's a mistranslation. Yeshua, Yahweh, Yahweh, and all those. And that's why, as somebody has said, well done, that person. That's why the Muslims and Jews call him Isa. Yet Muslims still play under Jehovah as well. So don't fall for that one. That they can sometimes do that. In fact, they do that when they argue with Christians. You can't ban anything. People are free to say what they want to say. Allah, um, satanic. There you go. Those are my thoughts. Um, so those are the questions people are asking on here. Um, he might have been spamming. The person might have been spamming. I don't know. But whatever he said was untrue and people believed it. But it's not just spamming. People do that to confuse people. I've no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean you're talking about the history? Got to be more specific. Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough. I'll go with that. Well said. Yes, you're right, historically. I'm talking about present. But yes, you're right. On a historical basis, completely true. Well said. Has anybody got any other questions? Now, you call yourself AS0279. No, not agnostic at all. Totally the opposite. I'm a teacher and a pastor. I teach all over the world. And I'm a pastor. I pastor a church. No, it's not anachronism. That's wrong to say that. Are you agnostic? No, which sect are you part of? My post, my rules. Which sect are you part of? I'm a Christian, biblical Christian. Well, it's your name maybe, but that's not true. That's false. She's got to search it out and find the truth for herself, your wife, God bless her. She has to find it out for herself. There are a lot of health risks. Later in life, she will suffer for that. I certainly do believe in Paul's teachings. I teach on Paul's teachings and I read them in the original Greek. Do you? I know what an acronym is, but I don't think that acronym is correct. That's all I'm saying. It's a wrong acronym. Oh, of your name. I apologize. I thought you were trying to say something about God. My apologies to you. Ardent apologies. I'm so sorry. I see. That's a good acronym. Because I thought you were saying it about God, and I had no relevance to that, no historical letters that did that. Exactly. Mistakes are made because we say things in short verses. But I do teach. I teach at a church. I'm a pastor. And I also teach at various seminaries and universities online. It is good. Keep in touch. Let me know how you get on. Maybe we can share stuff. I'd love to learn. I believe that the Old Testament ended when Jesus died on the cross. I believe the New Testament came into being when he rose. So it started before Paul. Paul just clarified it and put it right, but it was there before Paul. No, of course they're true for their times. The Old Testament was true for that time, but the law is not relevant anymore. The Old Testament law is not relevant anymore. Because Jesus fulfilled it. Ah, that'd be telling. I'm from the UK. Where are you from? No, the Old Testament was for the Jews. I'm not a Jew, I'm a Gentile. That's what Paul talks about in Ephesians. If you go to Ephesians 3, 4, and 5, that's exactly the point he's making. And in Romans too, if you look at Romans, he makes that point too in the first 3 chapters of Romans. I'm not a Jew, I'm a Gentile. Yes, for Jew and Gentile. That's right. The New Testament is for both. I am English, but I live in Scotland, the north of Scotland. I wouldn't say I'm religious. I'm faith. I'm into faith. To be religious means to be rechained. I'm not chained to anything. I'm free in Christ. So I'm a man of faith. I'm not a man of religion. I'm very highly educated, that's why. But I don't rely on my education to get by. And I've got a strange accent, so people tend to get floored by it. I'm from a place called the Black Country originally. Look it up. So thank you, everybody. That was a nice little chat. Let's do that again sometime. Oh, there's no more. Not far, about 60, 70 miles away. But that's as much as I'm willing to say because I don't want to give too much details away. That's where I run my church from. That's nice. Yes, I like Edinburgh. It's my favourite Scottish city. The volcano, I don't honestly know. I'm not very good at place names. No, I don't go out at all. I'm disabled. I do everything from home. I can get out a bit, but not much. No, haven't watched it. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I've got things I've got to do. Got to prepare for tomorrow and the weekend. Got to preach on Sunday and Monday. I do what's called Workers' Church on Monday. Okay, you asked me to wait. Last question. That's okay. Do you want to be? That's okay. I'll pray for you if you want. Or you can keep in touch. That'll be totally up to you. Well, get in touch. You'll see if you go to my page, look in the comments and you'll see a link. Go to my page and there's an email link. You can talk to me there. You're chilling. You're not allowed to chill as a Muslim, I thought. That's a joke, by the way. No, nothing to do with gender. Don't do it. It's not everything's about gender, right? Vote for the politicians you feel are best, but I'd agree with that one. Yeah, you're chilling. You're not. You're asking questions. You're pretending to chill, but you're not. Okay, I'm off now. So God bless you, and I'll see you all on that